what's going on, you guys? It's your girl, Justina Emily, and I am here at Girl Sound Studio with Girl Sound Podcast with the lovely Love Keyyz.
Hey, guys.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Always.
I've known you for a while.
Yes.
I think going back to like, what, 2017, 18?
18.
Yeah. And I feel like the more and more that I see you, it makes me think like, oh, damn, like I've known her for a while. And it seems like as an artist that I'm really excited about you. You just keep on developing. Like you just keep on like growing. There's just so much things like you're evolving constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to like give shout out to you because I feel like, you know, when you're with an artist, you see an artist and then it's like they're kind of stuck in that phase for a long period of time. Do you want to talk about like the growth you've been maybe like in the last 5 years?
Yeah, because I've been in LA for 5 years, almost 6 now, and I'm super, super, super like into development always. Like, I don't think that there is a moment that you reach where it's just like, oh yeah, I got everything. And I think that's what's kept me like so like relevant and kind of just like hungry for music. Because I always tell people when I came to LA, I went to an open mic and I was like, what is going on in here? They get down. I was like, okay. And that made me want to be a better artist, which is why I went to college. Even though I didn't have to, I was like, I want to take lessons and understand music theory and really get into it, which continued into, you know, me going to USC and everything. And it's just like, I'm always hungry for education because the more that I can put in my toolbox when I'm in these situations, even if it's not something primarily that I do, like if it's not a singing gig and it's like, I don't know, like instrument only or something. It's like I have all these things in my toolbox to reference when that time comes.
Because you were self-taught on the piano, right?
Yeah, I was self-taught since I was 16. And then I started taking lessons in 2020, I think. So I was about, it's like, wow, it's like 7-8 years later. It's like you did all this time by yourself. And then I started taking lessons and I've been taking lessons
and
since
didn't you also learn a little bit from Jordan?
Yes, Jordan.
Shout out to Jordan.
Yeah, shout out to Jordan and Antoine. Antoine is somebody from back at home, but like being hands-on in the studio with other pianists really helped me. I'm like, okay, what did you do? I like that sound. How did you make that sound? And like just watching and being hands-on is what made me want to continue to like really grow in piano.
And then you started learning how to play the harp?
Yes, I started playing harp last year. And yeah, so it's been like a little over a year now. And that's something that like, that's why I say I'm hungry for just learning things, because if I never gave it a try, I would have never known how like much I loved it and how gifted I was in that area, because that was something that was just like, oh, I think this is cool. Let me do it. And then it turned into, I have to play harp. Like there is no, I have to get one. I have to play it all the time. So like, that's so random.
And yeah, I was going to say that's like a random, like, instrument because not everyone has them in their house. It's like the guitar, a drum set, a piano, like there's some sort of, you know, like that in somebody's house. But a harp, what is something that like, you know, like advice what you would say like for people to start picking up a harp?
I think do your research, you know, as far as like just harps in general and people in the area. We're lucky in LA, we have access to so much. In smaller cities, there's not that many teachers. There's not that many harp stores. Even in LA, I only know of 2 major harp stores. So if there's only like 2 in LA, you can only imagine for a small city. So just do your research, reach out to people. Like I'm all for that. I reached out to Janae Aiko's harpist. Her name is Gracie Sprout. And I just DM'd her on Instagram and was like, hey, like I just started playing harp and I just wanted to like see if I could like chat with you about it. And she literally hit me back and was like, you want to hop on Zoom? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Yeah. So it's just like ask questions for whatever you see, like people doing things that you like. They'll usually reach back. And if they don't, you know, that's the reality of it. But like just do your research and like don't cross it out just because it's difficult or it's like, you know, inaccessible. Because harp is sort of a very niche thing. It's kind of just like if you know, if you got the access, the money, because it's very expensive. Oh, Lord have mercy. Like expensive to even take a lesson. So it's just do your research, reach out to people and just see if you can do it.
And that's a good point though, because I feel that people are afraid to ask for help or just ask for advice. And it's amazing. Like, we have the internet. Like, people don't understand that you can literally go and Google, like, hey, who was, producer on this song? Who is that and that? And you can literally just find them, follow them, and then if you on your Instagram, boom,
literally.
That's
and
what you did?
Yes, like
Okay.
I literally, because like that is part of like a big thing that I do. If I like something, who made it, who produced it, who wrote it, who did that, who played the instruments, see if they're on Instagram. If they're on Instagram, reach out and be like, yo, I really love the way that you play piano on this track, like da 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 da. And like sometimes, like I said, they'll reach back and sometimes they don't, but like I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from just like reaching out, cold emailing people just from research, because they want to talk to you. They want, especially about the stuff they do. They're like, oh, you liked it, let me tell you about it.
Oh, I
like,
know a thing or two. They're
they
really
love to
excited about that. What are your plans, like anything within the next year that we should be looking?
I have a lot of plans because I'm always trying to do different things. I would say there will be a lot more from the harp. This year was my year to focus on the technique, the training. I've been taking lessons all year, and this coming year is like, okay, now I'm ready to start putting out harp music, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be working on like a harp album, EP or whatever for 2024, and then I mean, many other things just with the artistry, the music, shows, and everything. But that's something that is like certain. It's like a main goal for me. It's like recording more harp stuff and putting that more out there in the world. Just getting that in the forefront, because we don't ever see harp. No. So it's just like, I want to play, at the Grammys. I want to be on tour with somebody playing harp. And I've just been like reaching out to people and just putting that out there. So a lot more harp.
Looking at the industry for what it is now, I mean, it's very, very different compared to, I mean, even, when people used to sell CDs out of their car. Yeah. Or now, do you feel like it's better to be an artist now, or do you feel like it's more difficult because there's so many people that are out there?
I see both sides. I literally was just talking about this last night. I literally was like having a moment where I was like going through my first songs and like listening to stuff now, and I'm like looking at the way that things were, and I was literally talking about how like that's another focus for me too in 2024 is getting my name more out there, being more present in the world, because I think people know me, but like getting my music more out there, because I did a song in like 2013 or 14 that was attached to a really popular group back at home, and like it was so easy to get like 200,000 streams, and that was like popping, and now it's kind of like things get oversaturated a little bit. Everybody's trying to do the same thing. It was basically like if you were doing YouTube in 2010, you were doing YouTube and people knew you for that. Yeah. Versus now it's like 90% of people have a YouTube, do YouTube in some sort, but back then it was like you have those 5 people, people didn't really know how to distribute music independently. It was kind of like gate kept in a way. And like I'm all for like, accessibility, but there's like a thin line, so I see both sides. It's like it was, for me, it was easier back then, and it's kind of hard because not only do I have to rebrand now, but I have to relearn things, and I have to learn what's relevant in 2023 and social media and all of these different techniques that I didn't have to do before. So I see both sides. I do think the best thing about now in the industry is that you can put yourself in front of so many different people. You can literally go on Instagram and DM these people and they might DM you back, versus back in the day, you really couldn't access celebrities like that. You know what I mean? So now it's kind of like, it's like a give and take thing. And I think it's a beautiful thing, especially for the new, generation of artists that are coming up. It's like you have an opportunity to literally create what you want to create without having to, I need to have a label and I need to do this. You can just like watch what people do and recreate it and do it on social media. And you don't know what's going to take off and go viral. So it's like a give and take thing for sure.
And it's kind of crazy because when you post something, it's insane to know how fast people are able to,
oh my God,
like be able to see a video and you're just like, oh my God, like I just got 500 views and I posted 2 minutes ago. It's also,
that's a lot.
It's exciting, but it's also very scary. Now, there was a time, I hope I'm not going too deep into it. I know there was a time that you you were in a relationship And it was like, okay, it was beautiful for me to be able to see that and have, you know, access to your life. But you also went through a breakup, and it was really hard for you. What is the balance, or where's that line, that boundary that you draw where you're kind of like, okay, I want to share it, and where I don't want to share it? I want to make this public and I want to keep this private.
I'm also a super like private person in general, so my process is a little bit different from other people because I don't know, that's how my family is, like we're just kind of, we keep to ourselves. But for me, I think the most important thing is letting myself process it first, like, and unfortunately for me, because it can be bad if I'm not on social media, but for me that looks like not being on social media as much. I'm not posting and I'm not trying to prove a point and look a certain way. It's like I'm really depressed and I'm going to take this 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it takes to process my feelings, go through whatever. And then when I feel myself starting to come on the other side, then it's like, okay, I want to share this, share that. But it's more of like, you kind of have to just let it process a little bit first. I think some people are just like, oh, this happened and I'm just gonna post about it immediately. I think it's important to like let yourself process, and also like don't make decisions or do things while you're angry or while you're sad or while you're in a super heightened emotion. So for me, it's like just giving myself that space and that time to feel what I'm feeling, and then once I'm starting to feel more comfortable just like with the reality of it, then it's like, okay, I can write about it, or I can, you know, because I don't write about everything immediately. Like when I'm feeling it, when I'm going through that breakup, I don't want to hear music. I don't want to do music. I don't want to sing anything. So it's just like giving yourself that space. And that just looks different depending on the situation. Some things it's like 2 days and then I'm writing a song. Some things it's like I ain't picked up a pen in 3 months. And that's just what it is. So you just got to let yourself just like feel it, you know.
Now being at your age, because you are how old, if you want to share?
I just turned 27.
Hey,
yes,
27.
I feel like grown now. Like I'm like, am I an adult? Oh
yeah. I feel now because I'm going to turn 35. And I remember when I told my mom, like when I was 27, I was going through some things, and my mom was like, girl, that's nothing. When you go, by the time when you're my age, when you're in your 40s, then talk to me.
Right.
But by the time you're in my like 50s, then no, you're going to experience some stuff. When now at, I would say in my 30s, I feel like 30s is just the new 20s. And I know people say that a lot, but for women, it's being able to know who you are, being more confident, the way you carry yourself, knowing what you want, how you want it, like everything. I feel like it's just such a awesome feeling. Yeah. I feel like it's so
like
fulfilling. Yeah, like a rebirth. That's like the best way to put that. But what is something you wish you would have told yourself when you started, maybe 5 years ago?
There's so many things. Oh my goodness. Cause like literally when I turned 27 last month, it wasn't like I'm panicking because I'm 27. It was more just like, oh my God, like I'm 27 and I'm looking back and I'm like so at peace right now. Like this is for me what peace looks like and feels like. And I just wish going back 5 years ago, I would tell myself that you don't owe anybody access to you. I gave so many people access to me in different ways, whether it's personal or business. And it was just like, I always felt like I was obligated to a lot of people, even if like somebody did something for me or whatever the situation was. It's like I didn't have those strong boundaries to say, I actually don't want this, and I don't have to explain or give you a reason. I just don't want to. So I just really wish I could go back and like take back some of that access from a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people.
Because like I think I hear it the most, like, oh, what do they call it, like energy vampires? Like they suck the energy, they suck all of that from you. And I'm very proud to see that there's a lot of that talk of self-healing and, you know, inner child work and all of that stuff, because it does tie into who you are as a character now. And also for you as an artist, it's really important for you to go through that, because it kind of influenced what kind of music you put out in the future. So you went to USC. tell me about that, hun, because that is a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
I'm still there. Like I said, I went to community college, and that was just like, oh, I just want to get music theory, take some classes, whatever. Got the degree. And part of, community college is the transfer process. They want you to apply and everything. So I'm going to shoot my shot. I said USC, Cal State, all of these like different schools. And I got in and I was like, oh my God, like I got into USC. And then like, I just kind of like whatever. And then I was like telling people and they were like, you got into USC. And then they start kind of hitting me like, this is kind of like a big deal.
I was going to tell you, girl, you were like, oh yeah, I got into USC. That is a big deal.
It is. And I'm like, because, I'm also not from here. So I'm not used to the USC UCLA thing. And like, because I didn't go to college, when I came here. So it was just like, oh my God, like they really only accept like 1 in 10 people. So crazy story. I ended up, it was a music podcast as well. And I was talking about it and I was like, yeah, I got accepted to USC 2 weeks ago. And she was like, oh my gosh. She was like, do you know what I do outside of this podcast? I was like, no. She
sorry.
was like, I'm a dean at USC. I said, you're lying to me. Like, you're not at USC. And she was like, oh, you're not going? I said, no, it's too expensive. I don't want to like, she was like, we're going to have a conversation after this podcast. She gave me her number. We talked, and long story short, because she's Black as well, and she was just saying, like, I hate that our people, like, we see the price and all of this stuff because it's private institution, and we, like, cross things out before we give it a try. Mm-hmm. And I'm just super grateful for however God put that together, because literally she ended up getting me some funding, and like I go there for free, and God, yes, like being
in the right place, and the universe puts you where you need to be.
And it was just like, of course I didn't want to go back to school because I'm in my mid-20s, and I'm like, it's difficult, it's LA, trying to pay rent, trying to do all this stuff. But I ended up going with it, and at first it was like, what is this? But then I started like doing little things, and like I had did like a Songwriter Hall of Fame tribute within like 2 months of being there. And I was like, wait, this is what can come out of USC? Then I did another Songwriter Hall of Fame tribute. And then like, I take private piano lessons, and I take them with Patrice Rushen now. And I was like, when would I ever get the chance to take lessons with a legend? Mm-hmm. Like, and me and Patrice are like so close now. I call her like my fairy godmother because I love her. Like, she's an absolute legend. And to just have these like different opportunities and just be close to people like that. And even with the harp, it's like I didn't have a plan to continue harp after I graduated, because where was I going to get get a harp? And by going to USC, I made that clear before I got there. Emailed the teacher like, hey, I play harp. I just wanted to introduce myself. Ended up taking lessons there, which helped me continue. And like, I ended up meeting a faculty member. I did like a show and like won first place, and like he was one of the judges, and we just chit-chatted about music for 5 minutes. And I was like, yeah, I play harp and piano. He said, you play what? I said harp. And he was like, can you read music? I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm gonna call you. He called me for a song to play harp on, and that song ended up being on the ballot for consideration for a Grammy last month. And I was like, I literally would never have gotten this without USC.
No.
So it's like, it's difficult because I'm 27. I'm starting over precisely because it's 2-year transfer, but the music program at SC is 3 years. So it's like I'm basically redoing the bachelor's process, even though I just spent 2 years in school. So I'm like, I'm doing this.
But look at this amazing opportunity, girl. Exactly. That you've been in there for how long?
This is my second year. It's been a year now. So I'm in my second year, and I only have 1 more year. And, it's.
And look at what else can come out of it.
There's so much that's been coming out just in the last like 60 days. And it's just like, all because I took a chance, and because I'm that kind of person that always wants to develop. Like, before I went there, obviously I was dope, but like now
I love that. Like, obviously I'm like, good. Obviously,
I'm dope, in a humble way. Like, obviously, I was doing my thing
confidence
before then, but now, because I didn't consider myself a musician when I moved to LA.
Why?
I always said an artist, because I could play piano, but it wasn't, like when I said I went to those open mics, it was nothing like what they could do. So by being curious and pushing myself, now any room I'm in, oh yeah, I play piano and harp and I sing and I do this and I play drums. Like, I do all of it. And it's just like, my ear has gotten so much better just by being in the program with that school. So.
And didn't you like perform with your band in the quad?
Yeah, I did for my birthday in the USC Village, like that shopping area. It was on my actual birthday, and we had an hour set. They were just like, do whatever you want, like anything. So I brought the harp, brought the band. We did originals, covers, everything. And it was just, honestly, that was like the best show that I've done. Like, I've done a lot of amazing shows, but for some, like, that one was just different. It was like something different about that. Like, I wish I got it filmed. Took pictures of it. People got pictures, but like, I wish I filmed that particularly. But that was amazing. So.
And it was your birthday.
It was
like
birthday.
Your gift to yourself. Like, look at how freaking far you've come.
And it was like a full circle moment, because like I literally had like almost a dozen bouquets of flowers, and it was like, not only are people here to like enjoy it, but they gave me my physical flowers, and like I was like crying and stuff. I was like, this is the best birthday I've ever had. Like, it just was a full circle moment. So
when you're not at school, when you're not making music or performing, like, what does a typical like normal day look like for you?
Sleep. Literally. I ain't even lying.
I am like that. I am so
I'm
like
not
that.
lying. Like,
no, I love sleep.
And also, it's just because I do that like 12, 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. So that one day, like yesterday, Saturday is like my day where I sleep in unless I have a gig or something. So I woke up late already. Then I took a nap halfway through the day. But like on my off days, I just like to just chill. Like, I try to practice and stuff too, but I want to relax, sleep, eat. If I can, go to the beach or something, but just like really some self-care kind of.
What does your self-care like look like?
Sleep,
bubble bath?
Sleep, wine.
Wine.
I don't get to enjoy wine as much anymore. It's just because I just don't be at home and I don't have it there. When I get there, I'm like, oh, it's okay, I don't need it. But just like relaxing, playing games, like literally just stuff that's like not music related, playing games on my phone, watching Netflix, just like relaxing. And there's this meditation garden in Malibu, I think, that I go to like as much as I can. So like once a month, I'm going there this week because it's like Thanksgiving break. So I'm going there. It's quiet. I bring a coloring book and I color, take pictures of the waterfall, and I go home.
I think people are sleeping on coloring? Or doodling.
And at first, because like, you know, therapy, they're like, oh, you should do this, do that. I'm like, I'm 27, why am I coloring? Like, but I actually got to color it because it was like it's like a Black woman like self-care book, so it's like Black women as the pictures in the book and stuff, so it's like, you know, related to stuff that I like. And like I was just coloring and I'm like, why do I feel so good? Like, this is healing right now. So yeah, I love that. I
was when I was at work, they were like, we got coloring books and coloring pencils. I was like, are you serious right now?
Is this a take to our kids?
Yeah, like, okay, yeah, like I want to work 8 hours and then on my lunch break, I really want to color. And you're right there and you're like, and it's funny as like, you know, you picture yourself as a little kid, you're like going like this sideways and like your tongue's like.
Trying to make sure you stay in the line.
Yeah.
Like,
It's go pick up a coloring book.
Go get y'all a coloring book. I love it. Like, I have, I think 2 or 3, and then I also have one that's like Bible scriptures too, so that one is even more like, you know, it's like I can color it but also like affirm myself at the same time. So I love those. I'm an advocate for that. Sit outside and color. Touch
color.
Grass.
Touch grass. Ground. Going ground. For you as a Black woman, and 27 Black woman, what is some advice that you want to give?
Oh Lord, let's get into it. No, I got a couple. I'm gonna try to make it short. The one that is so important for me right now is take up space. Take up space. I spent my entire life tiptoeing around everybody. I'm always the person that's just like, even here in LA, I'll go to a networking event and I'll just like, you know, try to just be, you know, oh, hi, I'm Love Keyyz. No, take up space. And I don't mean like you have to make noise all the time, but more so like if you want to do something or you want to say something, do it with confidence and don't feel like, oh, I don't know how people are going to feel if I take up space. That is a huge one for me right now. Another one is what we talked about earlier. It's like, you don't owe everybody access to you. You don't owe everybody an explanation for anything. Set boundaries. If you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. Of course, you know, be considerate of how it would affect other people if you don't do it, but like set some boundaries and like stand up for yourself, because I am quick to be like, you know, I would love to help you, but like, not today. I'm tired. And like, as much as I would love to help, you also haven't put in really enough effort on your own, and then you just want me, you know. So stand up for yourself. And also, Black women, don't get pregnant. Don't get pregnant. Don't be out here messing with guys and let them lead you off. Because I'm just so, that's like one thing I'm grateful about. It's like, I'm 27. I still don't have no kids yet by choice, but I was very like, I was a fast teenager, you know. I messed around, and you know, and I let like boys, you know, cloud my mind and stuff. And I'm just really glad that I was able to like be smarter. Every situation that I was in, it's like, okay, you need to move a certain way, and like it's just certain things, just make sure that they don't happen. Because I just feel like that's always like the disappointing thing to see, is like a woman at her peak, and then it's just like, oh, this guy who's not even worthy of her just comes like, yeah, I'm gonna get her pregnant, you know. So just be smart, ladies. Be smart. Yeah. That's like a big one for me. Like,
I don't even think it's about being toxic too. I just think that there's a clear, like, or not toxic, maybe like overly confident. Like, people just think, oh, look at how she moves. She's stuck up. And for me, it was like, same thing. Entertaining clowns. You know, it's like, girl, you know,
I've done a lot of
you go into the circus, like, and you were surprised that he's a clown, like, no. And then until I started to, same thing, set boundaries, have you know, carry myself a certain way,
you have to,
that it becomes like, oh dang, you attract a different kind of man.
That, oh my goodness, attracting
a different kind of
man, like, and I'm just proud of that too. Like, I'm just grateful. I don't know if it's just like the way I've learned, or if just God giving me extra chances, but I'm just grateful for where I am now, because I did used to entertain a lot of people that were just like, I'm looking back and I'm like, what did this man really have to offer? Like, but I was so boy crazy, and so like, I love him, and he's so cute, and he loved me, and like, but it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. And I just feel like the kind of people that I would entertain, like, I know what that looks like now. It's not like an attractive guy can just come up and just smile at me, and I'm just like, I love it. No, like, okay, so what? You're cute. You do this, you do that. Just like, being smart about those kind of decisions, because I should have been the friend in my friend group to have kids first, because I was just so like, I was about my business, but I was like, one thing, I'm gonna keep me a boo, keep me a man, and that's my man, and just being, you know, just a young girl that's just caught up in it, you know. And even with my last relationship that I talked to you about, and like, it's so funny. My family always, every chance they get there, it's like, ever since you broke up with him, you just started getting in your bag. Like, you were just bossed up in another way. And it wasn't because he was bad or toxic. It wasn't that at all. I think we were a very, you know, good relationship. We were very happy. But it's just like, I wasn't mentally in a place to know when to like stop certain things. It was just like, oh, let me always be about him, but still do my thing. And it's just, you just got to find that balance, which is hard, but I just didn't have the mindset I have now. So.
But now everybody sees it though. Everybody sees that you doing good, girl. You don't need him.
Yeah.
How is it like when you go back home though? Like, you know, going back home from LA, how different is it from, you know, where you're at now?
It's very different. I don't get to go home much, but when I do go home, I just feel like the love is always like there. Like, the last time I was there, I went back in March for literally 24 hours. That was for a gig. That's unrelated. But the last time I actually went was right after Christmas last year. And like, another moment of just like getting my flowers is just like, I just felt so loved, because I was booked like 2-3 days in a row, and like doing these shows and just being honored in a different way. And it's just like, it just reminds me, it's like a constant reminder of my why. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I still doing this? So it's just always really great. Like, I wish I had more time to go back, but like, you know, I live in LA. Like, come visit me. Like, you don't want to come. If I had a sister in LA, I'd be like, girl, I know I just was there last week, but I'm coming again. Like, come visit me. It's very hard for me to get back. So, but it's always love.
All right, Love Keys, do you have anything that you would like to share with the audience? Like what's coming out? Anything we could be looking forward to?
You can be looking forward to a lot of things. That's all I'm gonna say on that right now. I did just drop a new single called "In My Shoes" on all platforms. Amazing, amazing record. I wrote it, produced it, arranged it. I played the piano and the bass part, and there's some drums and guitars on there. It's like the best representation of who Love Keys is now as the artist, the musician, the arranger, the songwriter. And I wrote that song about just like being black and being in spaces and taking up space. So go get that, In My Shoes.
In My Shoes. Thank you, Love Keys.
Thank you.
Much love to you, honey. Remember, oh my gosh.
Almost.
I am so blind. Love Keys. I just want to say I am looking forward to see where life takes you. As an artist, remember, stay humble, stay safe, and stay driven, baby. And you killing it out here. You killing it.
Thank you.
Killing it.
Thank you, girl.
Thank you. And we hope that you enjoyed our time here. And I am Justina Emily, and we will see you soon.